Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has given us unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure or admire an old one. What will we find today? Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
When my children were young, I did a lot of reading up on discipline. I also watched other parents' discipline styles to see what worked. I found that counting to 3 to give kids a chance to think about whether or not they would obey really just gives them a 3-second head start before you have to run after them. And threats only work if you plan to follow through and didn't sound like a very positive way to discipline. One godly mom at church taught me more than any book. She would give her kids choices. She'd say in a sweet yet matter-of-fact voice, "You can either choose to obey me, or you can choose to get a spanking, or sit out instead of playing, or whatever discipline seemed to suit the situation." Then she'd end with, "It's your choice," and stand there waiting for them to choose. Inevitably, they would choose obedience. Then she would affirm them for making a wise decision. She wasn't patronizing about it, but she always made things more black and white to them, so that they could see the consequences of their decisions. God did that for the Israelites in the Old Testament. Just before they entered the Promised Land, Moses summarized the law with all of its promises and blessings, warnings and judgment. Then he said, in Deuteronomy 30:15-20, "See, I have set before you today life and good, death and evil, in that I command you today to love the Lord your God, to walk in all of His ways and to keep His commandments, His statutes, and His judgments, that you may live and multiply. And the Lord your God will bless you in the land which you go to possess. But if your heart turns away from that, and you don't hear, and you are drawn away and worship other gods and serve them, I announce to you today that you shall surely perish. You shall not prolong your days in the land which you cross over Jordan to go and possess. I call heaven and earth as witnesses today against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both you and your descendants may live, that you may love the Lord your God, that you may obey His voice, and that you may cling to Him, for He is your life and the length of your days, and that you may dwell in the land which the Lord swore to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give them." Moses gave them a choice, but urged them to choose what was good. Psalm 2 speaks of the Messiah's reign on earth, warning kings, and thus their subjects, to serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with trembling. The psalmist gives a rather vivid description of how Jesus will handle those who oppose His rule. Verse 9 says, "You shall break them with a rod of iron. You shall dash them to pieces like a potter's vessel." In verse 12, he says, "Kiss the Son, lest He be angry and you perish in the way when His wrath is kindled but a little." Option 1, defy God and face His wrath and be broken. That doesn't sound good. Option 2, humbly submit to His authority in friendship and affection. What does that lead to? The psalm ends with, "Blessed are all of those who put their trust in Him." Or as another version puts it, "Blessed are all who take refuge in Him." As my children grew, I wanted them to respect and honor me. When they didn't, I would quickly correct them. But they knew when they skinned their knee or had a nightmare, they could come to me for comfort and love. That's the picture of the kind of king we have. He wants to be our source of rich blessing, comfort, and joy. But that's truly our choice. What have your decisions about your attitude, your treatment of others, or your general direction in life showed about your choice today?
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. We'd love to hear the treasures God has given you through His Word. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you can find in the description below. Thank you for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.